Hi, this is Joe again with another review. For the sake of this video, we're going to be discussing the 1997 film Copland. Excuse me. Starring Sylvester Stallone, Harvey Keitel, Robert De Niro, Ray Liotta, and Michael Rappaport. And of course, this is an A-list cast, but with an F on execution. And I'm going to get to it why. This movie, of course, is Sylvester Stallone plays this out of shape sheriff in a town in New Jersey, which is filled with former NYPD officers, and most of them were corrupt. And Robert De Niro plays an NYPD internal affairs investigator who's investigating these cops. And really out of shape. I mean, Stallone put on 40 pounds just to play this role. And I have a little bit of training to show you what a piece of garbage, I have to say, that Sylvester Stallone is. Which I'll get to in a moment after I go through the film. This film is about the Michael Rappaport's character was a cop who was going along the George Washington Bridge on the way home, and he get into a road rage incident with two black guys in the car, and he believed that they shot at him and they blew a tire out. Well, the tire just blew out on its own, and they didn't find a gun on these two guys. But he believed that because one of them, the passenger, made this motion when you were in his hand and pretending that he had a gun on him, and at that moment, that's when the tire happened to blow out. And so Michael Rappaport says, "Oh, they're shooting at me." So he shoots back at the two black guys, kills them, and of course he pretended to, and he thought he was going to get fired because he shot two unarmed black guys. So he faked his suicide off the bridge, and now they're all looking for him. Well, in this small town in New Jersey, like I said, that Stallone is a sheriff of, is full of NYPD cops, and well, actually, what the law is that you have to live within New York City if you happen to be a New York City police officer or in the fire department. You have to live within New York City. Well, they got around that law saying, "Oh, you're only like a part-time cop or something." So they can live in this little town and it's full of all other cops, and they're all corrupt. And Harvey Keitel is the main corrupt guy. And Robert De Niro was investigating these cops, saying, "Oh, how corrupt they are," and this Michael Rappaport officer just jumped on the bandwagon and says, "Hey, this is how I can get into to bust up these guys." And Stallone at first they didn't want to do shit because he didn't want to rock the boat, and Stallone's character Freddy. He wanted to be an NYPD cop himself, but he couldn't because he's deaf in one ear. Because when he was a kid, long before he was a police officer, he saved this woman from drowning, and in doing so, he busted an eardrum in one ear, and he lost all hearing there. So now, because of that, he has to be, in this small town as a sheriff in Jersey. And he's, of course, taken advantage of because he's so dumb. I mean, if you think Rocky was not too bright, this character the Stallone plays makes Rocky Balboa look like Albert Einstein. That's how dumb this character is. Then, of course, after when Michael Rappaport's character reaches out to Stallone's character, that's when Stallone decides to rise up and talks to De Niro and tell him what's going on in the town. And De Niro tells him, "You're too late now." I said, "What do you mean I'm too late? Aren't you still investigating this thing?" He said, "Not anymore. My supervisors cut down on the investigation, told me to knock it off because he has no witness. Michael Rappaport's character is supposed to have died, this type of thing." And I said, "Well, then when Stallone decides to bust in on this conspiracy, Harvey Keitel and his boys go after Stallone. And you had like this big shootout, and a guy comes up from side of him and shoots a gun next to his good ear, and now he's like completely deaf. Can't hear, really can't hear out in both ears, and he has to take down. Or only in only a Stallone movie could do this. Takes down all of Harvey Keitel's guys. Brings Harvey Keitel and kills. I think remember. I saw the movie a couple of weeks ago. Kills Harvey Keitel. Kills a lot of his boys, and brings Michael Rappaport's character in. And then of course they busted Harvey Keitel. And I don't remember if he got killed off or not, but they brought in Harvey Keitel's character in, and of course, and they also brought in Michael Rappaport's character. And Ray Liotta helps him out and tells De Niro that hey, he can't hear, he's completely deaf. And then they got Stallone to a hospital, and he turned out to be okay. They got treatment for him, and now he could hear out of his good ear. What was his good ear before for most of this film. And that's pretty much how the movie goes. And this definitely does play out like a conspiracy theory that was a big deal back in the 90s. Of course, the problem with this movie is that Stallone is an a-hole. The reason why I said that is because when they filmed this movie, even though most of it was filmed in New Jersey, actually, but the scenes that were in Robert De Niro's office was in the New York Post building, or what was, at that time, the New York Post building, which was on 210 South Street in downtown Manhattan, and it's literally in between this building. You need to know where this building is. It's in between the Brooklyn and Manhattan bridges in downtown Manhattan, and that's where this building was. And my father happened to be on vacation, so this makes it a little more personal. This particular film, my father was on vacation while they were filming the scenes in Robert De Niro's office. For scenes, but for some reason they didn't. De Niro didn't talk to the workers. They, what Stallone did, he had dinner with some of my father's co-workers, and my father asked his foreman, "Can you see if he gets Stallone's autograph for me?" Because we're big fans of Stallone. We're big fans of the Rocky movies. My wife, or my mother, who was my mother, was born and raised in Philly. And could point stuff out in the Rocky films when he did Rocky. So we're fans of Stallone. Long story short, Stallone didn't sign autographs for anybody. Even the guys who were working that night, or those nights that they were filming the film, filming the movie, he didn't sign autographs for anybody. He agreed to have dinner with them, but that's about as far as he went. Asshole. And so that's why I have to end this review on that story. Stallone did not sign. That's how much of a jerk Stallone is, how much of a big head he has now compared to when he was first starting out as an screenwriter back in the 70s. Now he says, "Fuck you," and not signing you any autographs for anybody. So when the movie came out, I said and we all gave lousy reviews. We didn't like it that much because of all the stupid conspiracy stuff in it. And of course, a lot of people complained that Stallone didn't look good because he purposely gained weight. Gained about 40 pounds for this role. So the people complained about the way he looked in the movie, and then he was always playing like a dumb character who doesn't know shit, and that's what he did in this film. So that's my review of Copland. Please click on the video, please rate it, feel free to comment on it, please subscribe to my channel, and please forward this video onto your Facebook pages. You can check out all my reviews on my YouTube channel at rowdyc.com, it's all WDY, and then c.com. There's a homepage to the reviewer, Chris Lee Moore, and please check out all my videos, all of his videos on his website. Thanks for watching, catch you next time.